What's going on, everybody? So, as of when you are seeing this, I am currently out of town, which sucks because I'm missing a couple screenings, which are going to be videos for next week, but whatever. So, in the meantime, I wanted to give just a brief little update on some of my above-the-line Oscar predictions here. As you are seeing, this Cannes starts this week. Very excited. We're going to know a lot about some of these movies coming up here, which is nice because we get some clarity on some things, but also, you never really know how these things go. And I know this is already common sense, but since we are in May, okay, May, what do I always say here? I know nothing. You know nothing. There's no need to get into any arguments about it because whatever you say, it doesn't really matter. Whatever I say doesn't really matter. I took some swings, but I'm also playing it safe in some areas, so let's just kind of get it all together. Enough talking. Let's start with Best Picture. Number one is Past Lives, and on one hand, Past Lives does feel a little bit small for the Academy, maybe a little bit quiet. Once again, I freaking haven't seen it. That pisses me off. As a Korean, I feel entitled to Past Lives, but anyway. It's at number one because I still think picture runs through director and or screenplay, and I think Past Lives is going to win one of them, and you'll see I have it for one. But also at this point, I do feel good about Past Lives just because we know it's good. At this time last year, what did people have, including myself, in Best Picture? The Sun, Bardo. Everyone had those in their Best Picture lineups, damn near. So the fact that I know Past Lives is a good movie. The talk has not died down at all since its premiere at Sundance. I feel good about Past Lives. Everything else is a question mark, therefore it's at number one. Plus, I can oddly see the package. Number two is The Color Purple. Now, this also has a winning package, at least as of what I'm envisioning here. You can see it winning SAG Ensemble. You could possibly see it winning some text just based off of the first footage that we heard from CinemaCon. Has some acting wins in there. The only thing that holds me up is there is no way it's a screenplay winner, at least in my eyes. As a musical, that's already tough enough as it is. Screenplay, I think, is out the door. And then with director, I mean, with some of the heavy hitters we got, I mean, that'll be really tough. So in that regard, Color Purple is at number two, but I mean, it could just really sweep people up and it could win. Who knows? Number three is Killers of the Flower Moon. This premieres at Cannes, so we will know how good this movie is very, very soon. I expect it'll get raves. It's a Martin Scorsese movie that he's been working on forever with that cast. I expect it to be nothing less than amazing. Having said that, I think once those reviews come out, everyone will push Killers to number one. They'll push Scorsese to number one, and I refuse to do so. That is not a reflection off my personal excitement for it. Y'all know I can't wait for Killers of the Flower Moon, especially with Leonardo DiCaprio, all that entire cast. Just the way the years have gone, it just feels like that safe movie where everyone knows it is damn near locked for all these nominations already, but it'll lose steam and it'll walk away with either no wins or very little. That is how I feel about Killers of the Flower Moon. I know I'm not the only one who shares that sentiment here, and I refuse to be swayed from the possible Cannes reaction raves. I refuse to be swayed from it. I reserve the right to change my mind on that, but I'm gonna wait for a while. Number four is The Holdovers. I don't really know what to expect from The Holdovers. I was very high on this movie just like a couple months ago, just in my early predictions. And not that it's fallen off. I mean, it's number four still, obviously, which is great for me, but I mean, I'm just kind of cooling off a little bit. I still think this is like a possible screenplay winner. Paul Giamatti, I think, is going to be good. This just feels like the TIFF People's Choice contender and or winner. And if that happens, boom, nomination. Number five is Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan back with a biopic kind of drama here, and that is why I think it'll perform much better with the Academy than some of his other more sci-fi action twisty movies. I think Cillian Murphy is in Best Actor contention, and I think this will pick up a lot of stuff below the lines. The trailers have only piqued my interest even more, and I think it's going to be great. This is one of the major contenders below the line, along with Dune Part 2. Now, Dune Part 2 might have the biggest range for me, at least as of right now. If you told me Dune Part 2 is going to win Best Picture, I'd believe you. If you told me Dune Part 2 is going to pick up 4 nominations, I'd also believe. Because there really is a question of, A, is this it for Dune? Which I don't even think so, but is this it? If it is, should we Return of the King it and reward it a lot of stuff? Or even just something as recent as last year with Avatar: The Way of Water, it underperformed as far as the first Avatar went. It didn't pick up some of those wins that it was expected to. It didn't pick up some nominations it was expected to. And with the first Dune out only 2 years ago, I don't know if they'll feel compelled to be like, well, let's give it another win here. Let's give it another win here. I don't know. Now, having said that, as we kind of go through my nominations here, you might be a little confused to be like, well, you sound a little hesitant on Dune, but yet you have it at like number one here or whatever. And you're kind of right about that. I am kind of splitting in between the lines about that, because while the trailer, I think, looks fantastic, I have a trailer reaction for it. I was very excited. It does look a bit of the same. Like, they even used the same music, the same score. I don't know if the Academy will say, like, cinematography again. May December is at number 7. This is also premiering at Cannes, so we'll know about this very soon. It does not have a distributor as of when I'm recording, and that may or may not sway how I feel about this outside of the obvious reviews on how good it is. But I don't know, this just feels like an Oscar contender. I'll be honest, I want to put it higher than 7. It's just there is still some question marks about it, so I have it at 7 there, but oddly feel good about it. Number 8 is Strangers. Now, this is one of my swings for Best Picture, and y'all know that I am a little iffy on Searchlight's slate this year. The Poor Things teaser trailer came out. I think it looks fantastic, okay? This is not a reflection of my personal feelings or excitement about the movie. I don't see it as something like The Favorite. I don't. That doesn't mean I think Poor Things is going to get blanked or anything like that, but I just don't know if that's the picture play that people are thinking. So you combine my skepticism already, just knowing what I know about the book and about the story here, along with a very early September release date. I believe it's in September somewhere. Now, we are in an era where the release date doesn't matter as much, which I totally agree, but you know, it is a little odd. But maybe that doesn't matter, and Poor Things goes to Venice, and it knocks people's socks off, and it actually is not one of those movies that is just acclaimed but weird, and it actually has appeal to the Academy. And if that's the case, go for it. I don't really think Poor Things is like that, even though the trailer did pique my interest much more already, as if I wasn't already excited for it. And then there's Next Goal Wins from Searchlight, and I know I'm jumping from movie to movie here, but Next Goal Wins from Taika Waititi. It has gotten delayed and delayed and delayed for various reasons, like COVID and reshoots for Armie Hammer. And it was going to come out in September, and then they moved it to November, and that kind of ticked me off. I was like, is this just another move because they think it'll do better box office wise commercially, or is that like, let's position this movie? And I can't really tell exactly. I am excited for Next Goal Wins. I think people really have their pitchforks out for Taika, which I kind of get, but I am kind of excited for it, but it still doesn't compel me to put it in like a Best Picture lineup. So with that, I think Strangers is a combination of both, where I think it could be acclaimed enough to be in Best Picture while also not being too weird. And that's kind of where it comes down to for number 8. That was a long rant about that, but whatever. 9 is Air. And as someone who genuinely loves Air, I really think about it, is that my favorite movie of the year so far? I have kept Air out of my Best Picture lineup this entire time, but as I was going through the list, I was just like, I kind of have to put it in. It feels like a placeholder for now. I'll fully admit it feels like a placeholder, but I don't know, like, it could fucking happen. I haven't really seen people just absolutely destroy Air. I feel like everyone kind of agrees it is at least solid. I mean, if you don't like Air, just say you can't ball. It's all good. It's okay. It's okay. Totally kidding about that. But yeah, Air is just kind of in. It's just, you know, it's a crowd-pleasing movie. Just whatever. Once again, it's a placeholder. Now, 10 is a very hard spot for me. I could have gone with Saltburn. I could have gone with Barbie. But there's a couple things about those where I'm like, something about it. So I am going to The Zone of Interest. It's playing at Cannes in competition. We'll know about it very soon. Jonathan Glazer. I don't know. This is also kind of a placeholder because Jonathan Glazer has never really made a movie with that kind of appeal for the Academy. I mean, especially Under the Skin, right? But at the same time, this is like a Holocaust movie kind of about the times. I mean, it feels a little bit more resonant than some of his other movies would be that I don't know. And it feels like they kind of know what's on their hands here. It feels like they kind of know. That's just the feeling I get. So because of that, I'm just saying fuck it. And I'm putting The Zone of Interest at 10. Oddly as a placeholder, though, I can't lie. 11 through 20, once again, for these, I only go up to 20, even though I could really go on forever. But 11 is Barbie. My most anticipated movie of the year. I am so curious about Barbie, but I can't justify 3 Warner Brothers movies in Best Picture. Now, if one flops, there you go. There's your pathway, but I can't justify 3. And if you're going to take out The Color Purple or Dune, good luck to you. And 11 for Barbie, you could tell me that's too high, and I'd probably be like, yeah, true, you're right. And you could also tell me that's too low. I'd be like, yeah, true, you're right, because I don't know what to do with this movie. I know I mentioned floor ceiling for Dune. I mean, the floor and ceiling for Barbie is insane. Is the Academy really going to nominate a movie called Barbie? Is that really what's going to happen? Is this like a pure comedy? Is that going to get nominated for Best Picture? Is this going to be one of the best movies of the year? It's at 11. 12 is Saltburn. I heard the test screenings were pretty good. Whatever. Congratulations. That's cool. It feels a little thrillery, which, I personally like. I'm very excited for this movie. The Academy weirdly is against like thriller mystery type shit. Not that Saltburn is necessarily a mystery, but whatever. The cast is intriguing. Emerald Fennell, we'll see how she does on the follow-up to Promising Young Woman. I have it at 12. 13 is Maestro. Maestro is Oscar bait. Absolutely. The test screenings were a little bit mixed, but they are doing through re-edits, reshoots. Scorsese's like a producer on it or something. I don't know. I'm not throwing this movie away like I think a lot of people are. It's still very much on my radar here, and we'll get to that in another category. 14 is Poor Things. I already talked about that. 15, La Quimera. It was what I had in my best picture lineup in the last video. I've cooled on that a little bit. You know, I kind of flipped it for the zone of interest. I'm just kind of saving a slot for Cannes, I guess you could say. But La Quimera, I mean, it's neon. If it wins the Palm, motherfucker, you're back in. All right, we back up. 16 is Blitz, Steve McQueen's new movie. I still am unsure if this comes out this year. So that's kind of why it is a little bit lower. If I had like confirmation it was, I'd probably put it higher. But because of that, it's at 16. 17 is The Bike Riders. I mean, I don't know. The cast is intriguing enough to make me put it on. 18, How Do You Live? Miyazaki's new movie from Studio Ghibli. That's going to be fire. 19 is Next Goal Wins. We'll see about that. And 20 can never fully count out David Fincher, even though this doesn't feel like an Academy thing. Director, don't know who to put at number 1. Let me just say that. Don't know who to put at number 1. You might as well remove all the numbers from here. I just closed my eyes, and I was between Villeneuve and Nolan, and I just went Villeneuve because even though everything I said about Dune for Picture, once again, I said I'm kind of splitting my hairs here. What the fuck is it? I don't even know the term. It's early, man. Leave me alone. If Dune truly is like a holy shit type of movie, you know, which I'm expecting it is, and it's different enough from the first one to really stand out, and if they play their cards right and be like, hey, like this might be the last one, maybe they do just decide to award him, especially after a egregious snub for Dune the first time. I just have it at number 1. Christopher Nolan's at number 2. Once again, this feels very Dunkirk-y in terms of how it'll go with the Academy. I think Christopher Nolan will get recognized as director if Oppenheimer is what I'm expecting it is. 3 is Martin Scorsese, lock it in. 4, Celine's Song for Past Lives. If I have it winning picture, you bet I have it in director. There is temptation to put her at number 1, but just with all the technical achievement type movies, it's hard for me to really justify that. And then 5, I have Blitz Bazawula for The Color Purple. So we'll kind of see about that. The rest, Jonathan Glazer, maybe. There's like a Cannes slot open, as always. Todd Haynes, May December. Yorgos, if Poor Things is really that good. Greta Gerwig, got to take that into consideration. And once again, another Cannes slot for Alicia Warwalker for La Quimera. Actress, so the top 5 is actually the same from my last video with Fantasia Barrino for The Color Purple winning. Natalie Portman, Greta Lee, Jessica Lange, Annette Bening. I think that was my 5 from last time. Not really tempted to switch anything out right now. You can see the rest there with Emma Stone, Kate Winslet, Saoirse Ronan if Blitz does come out, Teyana Taylor I still have in there, and Margot Robbie for Barbie. But oddly enough, I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about in actress. Just feels like a fairly consensus, you know, at least for everyone is putting Fantasia at number 1. I haven't seen anyone pick differently. So Best Actor, once again, also kind of the same as what I had last time. I still have Cillian Murphy at number 1. And that is only because with all the question marks about some of the biopics here, from what I hear, I don't think Paul Giamatti is going to win. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio, for whatever reason, the Academy is like, 1 and you're done. You're good. Congratulations. You're never going to get rewarded again. That's just what it feels like to me. Colman Domingo for Rustin. I'm just not hearing amazing things about Rustin. When I see people put Rustin in Best Picture, I'm kind of like, that seems a little crazy, but you do you. And Bob Marley, I also don't feel great about that one either, honestly, especially with the release date of that one. It feels way too late, in my opinion. Bradley Cooper is the most tempting for Maestro. Even if Maestro is a fairly mixed-ish movie, I mean, it's going to win makeup. That almost feels done. Bradley Cooper obviously has an overdue narrative. It'll be kind of tough because it is a transformation. So from talking to like my actor friend in the video and just hearing all the anonymous ballot stuff, people truly want a transformation in these categories. Bradley Cooper is right there. The rest, you know, Matt Damon, Barry Keoghan, T.O.U. You can never count out Anthony Hopkins. I want to put Andrew Scott for Strangers in here, but I couldn't find a slot for him. Probably next time I will. Supporting actress, I closed my eyes and I envisioned who I imagined winning as of this moment between Danielle Brooks and Lily Gladstone. And it went Danielle Brooks. Something about those musicals and supporting actress just gets it done. Don't know what it is about it. It just gets it done. Apparently she steals the show. And that's good enough for me. Now, Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon, I hear it is fantastic. So we'll have to keep an eye about that. Hopefully that is like an actual interesting battle during the award season if it does come down to that. Julianne Moore in May December. I just feel like May December is like an actory type of movie. That's just my hunch. We'll see. Double nominations for The Color Purple and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I'll be honest, I feel like a basic bitch because I feel like that's a lot of people's top 5, but whatever. Viola Davis in Air. I mean, it is a very reserved performance. I would be a little surprised if it was, but I mean, she is fantastic though, and I know a lot of people are just kind of like, yeah, she's incredible in Air, which I think she's amazing. When is she not? So it's always an option. Rosamund Pike in Saltburn Road is very good. I have one for La Quimera, as always. Lashana Lynch, Claire Foy. You know, we'll see how it goes. Supporting actor. Okay, this one. I truly don't know who to put at number 1. I truly don't know. Right now, I just have Jesse Plemons for the sake of Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know. John Majaro, I hear, is like amazing in Past Lives, but also not one of those performances that wins. Ryan Gosling at Barbie is very tempting, but just a pure comedic role where he's just like plays what I assume is just a dumb Ken. Would that win? Then Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, I heard is good. And once again, I'm kind of going in on May December. I have Charles Melton getting a nomination for supporting actor. Then I have The Poor Things Boys, Ben Affleck, who's just fucking awesome in Air. I think he's hilarious. Brian Tyree Henry, and Paul Mescal for Strangers. Original screenplay, the top 5 is Best Picture, pretty much. Past Lives, Holdovers, Air, May December. And then you have Saltburn. You know, you got to throw in something. Drive Away Dolls is the new Coen movie. I kind of keep my eye on that. Maestro, Wes Anderson, maybe. Challengers, I don't know. And then Bottoms would be interesting. Bottoms feels like that movie where everyone kind of keeps it in their 10 at the bottom. No pun intended. And then it's just like never manifest anything. Adapted screenplay, fuck. Also, I don't know who to put at number 1. Now, you might say, man, you have Killers of the Flower Moon at number 1? Then Killers of the Flower Moon probably could win Best Picture. Listen. Don't take this that seriously. I truly don't know who to put at number 1 here, so I'm just going to default to the safest choice, which is Killers of the Flower Moon. Like Oppenheimer, would Barbie win screenplay? I mean, damn, that'd be insane. Then oddly enough, I do have Poor Things in here and Strangers, so we'll see. Dune, you might be wondering why that's not in screenplay. It's just, the first one felt like the feat of adapting it, like an unadaptable novel, into a movie is great, and they had to do all the world building, everything like that. And everything I know about Dune, this is like war, like straight up war. So it's like a much more heavy action movie. So with that, I don't really feel compelled to put it in screenplay, honestly. The Color Purple, it's a musical. And then the rest, I don't know. I don't really see it. So those are my quick little updated predictions for May for Above the Line. Once again, we know nothing. I don't want people to take this too seriously here. I'm very excited to see the reactions from Cannes. I am not going. I don't even bother applying. I want to save my money for like TIFF or New York or something like that. So follow me on Twitter, Letterboxd, all the links in the description. But goddamn, I'll see y'all next time. Why can't I see Past Lives yet? A24.